Hi, I'm Danny Pine, and I'm a child and adolescent psychiatrist at the Ross Center in the Washington, D.C. office. And I've spent much of my career thinking about and conducting research and working with families to deal with issues of mental health problems in children and adolescents. It's an incredibly uncertain time that we're facing right now, and I know many families are struggling with issues of mental health problems in their children. And I just wanted to take a moment or two to speak with parents and family members and children and adolescents themselves about what we know about pediatric mental health problems. The first thing we know is that these are incredibly common, among the most common health problems of children and adolescents. These are problems that they experience with mental health. The second thing we know is during times of uncertainty and during times of stress, problems with anxiety and problems with emotion are particularly common. The third thing we know is that there is not a firm boundary between issues that are transient and problematic in the short run, as opposed to issues that will impact how a child or an adolescent is functioning long term. And probably the single most important thing that parents can take away is if a child is struggling and their problems are impacting their ability to do things that other children can do, that's a time that a parent should really be asking themselves, is this a mental health problem for which my child needs help? So if a child is having difficulty going to school when other children are able to do this, if a child is having difficulty finishing their assignments, if a child is having difficulty completing other tasks that they need to complete, parents should really ask themselves, does my child need help in terms of mental health services? There are other things that we can also see. So some children will still be able to complete all of their daily routines, their daily tasks, but will be suffering and will need help. But this is far less common than children with problems that interferes. And parents, as a first thought, should really think about how their children are functioning. The last thing to think about is, so what do you do when you have a child who is having mental health problems? Usually the first thing to do is to seek help from your pediatrician. So you should reach out to your pediatrician. You should say that you saw me, Danny Pine, talk about these issues, and you should ask your pediatrician what can be done. If you get to the point where your pediatrician is not sure what to do, we at the Ross Center are very eager to help pediatricians, and we would recommend that the pediatricians reach out to us and reach out to me specifically, that's Danny Pine at the Ross Center, to talk about what are the natures of the problems that your child is experiencing and how we might be able to help your child. So the last thing to say is that mental health is one of these problems that is incredibly important, that does not receive nearly the amount of attention it deserves. But we at the Ross Center are committed to helping families to deal with this shortfall in resources. And I would ask you to reach out to your pediatrician and to have your pediatrician work with us so that we could get you the help that you need or answer the questions that you, your family, or your pediatrician might have. So thanks for listening to this, and I look forward to hearing from you and your pediatrician.